Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel, and welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here, is bring about conversations about social, emotional, coaching, and psychological related topics. We do that in an audio format. We try to do that as often as possible. We've got over 400 such audios for you to check out in a variety of topics. And um, so anyway, the first thing I want to do is just encourage you. If you do need coaching in any way, please feel free to reach out. The best way to do that is through the About Me section of this particular YouTube channel or on Twitter at PO Perception. You can get in touch with me. I want to help as many people as I can in 2021, trying to reach some goals for physical relocation, and new clients will help me do that. Also, if you are interested, please subscribe. We want to get to the point where we can give to charity this year, and having more subscribers would help us do that. So, in any event, today we're going to talk about a non-progressive path. And some people say the wrong path. I don't necessarily think there's a right or wrong path in life. There can be just a path that's either progressive or destructive. And so, what are some signs you might be going down a destructive path for your own edification? We're going to run through about 8 or 10 of those things, and it's important that we kind of look at that holistically, because just because you have one of these things doesn't necessarily mean that you have a completely, horrible, messed up life path. It just kind of means you got to do some reset. So, um, the first thing is, if you live in the past a lot. Look, the past has already happened. It can't be changed. I can say honestly, there are many things in my life, from relational issues to health related challenges, other things, that if I spend too much time looking back at them, a lot more than maybe 5 minutes in a given day, I become very frustrated, and I lose my focus, and I lose my center, and I lose the ability that allows me to do the things I need to do. So, if you have to look at the past, put a time limit on it. But for the most part, try to look at the past the least amount possible, because it doesn't have an effect other than through memory on your day to day life. So it's kind of semi irrelevant to look at it consistently. Yet lots of people do it, and they ruminate and they set themselves backwards. The next thing is when your heart, mind, and spirit don't add up or don't line up. So your heart, that which is your emotional sense. Your logic, that is your mind, how you process things, how things fit together, and your spirit or your gut instinct. When these three things aren't in alignment, when something just feels off, it's a sign, especially if you're taking continual actions that continue to feel off, that you probably need to reevaluate your motivating factors or your actions or a combination of both. The next thing is your gut instinct. Your gut instinct, if you're tuned into it, because some people believe in universal consciousness, some people believe that there's a higher power, a god or goddess, some people believe that our ancestors and loved ones, both here on this side of the planet and those who've passed away, can influence us. Some people believe that we just kind of are amalgamations of all the things we've heard and seen over the years. But if our gut instinct, which is the essence of our spirit, doesn't feel comfortable, just feels off, feels imbalanced, feels like something isn't going to go right and it won't pay off, or it's not going to go where you need it to go, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing. The next is you're not fulfilled at the end of the day. Now, we all have busy days, or days where things don't go according to plan, or time management is off, or we have too many tasks and not enough us. But if you wake up more days than not, let's even say more than 40% of the time, you're waking up unfulfilled, unsatisfied with what is happening in your life and the results you're getting, it's time to leave. It's time to move on. It's time to go. Not because you're an unintelligent person, but because the more you continue to stay in a non-satisfied, non-fulfilled state, the easier it will be for that to become your resting state, and it affects how you believe what can happen in your daily life. The next unlike to it is you're not happy. You don't feel joy. You don't feel peace. You don't feel excitement for things that used to excite you. When you can't look ahead and say, well, I'm excited for something that's happening in a week. I'm excited for something that's happening in a month. And certainly during the pandemic where we've all had to kind of lock down and be more guarded and more sensitive, certainly without much imagination, it's harder to be happy during those times. But the reality is, if you can't find little things to be happy in, that can, especially over time, ultimately, um, it can add up and get pretty negative. The next thing is um, difficulty making choices. So, indecisiveness is a sign that you may be going down the wrong path. If neither choice that's in front of you, and there's always more than Tony Robbins, who I studied under, and I'm certified by his organization for coaching, and he's one of many people that I consider to be kind of the founding fathers of this process, says you're stuck if you've got one choice, two choices an ultimatum, three choices or more is the power of actual choice. And if you can't make choices because none of them satisfy you, none of them edify you, none of them lift you up and make you feel like I'm going to gain positive momentum from doing this, the chances are that both of the choices or all of the choices may be wrong, or you might be ignoring the choice that you need to make, even if, at the end of the day, you are, it may take longer to reach your goal, or it may tick some people off or whatever. And then the other thing is, if you're constantly in a fight or flight or stress response, if you are, always worried about what's going to happen next, if you're always concerned about how to alleviate other people's stress, if you're always worried about what other people are going to think, feel, act, say, or behave, or how this is going to play out and have an effect on your week or your day or your month or your year, and it's not just feeling that way for a couple of hours or maybe even a couple of days at most, but you're feeling that way week in and week out, there's a chance you're on the wrong path in life. The next factor is you don't have the ability to focus, and I'll combine it with you don't have the ability to trust when you do make a decision. So the focus piece is to pick a pathway that makes sense to you and follow it through. The trust piece is once I've made the decision, I don't look back. Now, sometimes we might reflectively look at where we've been, several weeks or several months or even several years later. But if you day to day don't trust the decisions you're making, there's no power in anything you're doing, and you're on the wrong pathway because you have to be empowered to follow through on the decisions that you make. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground and your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.